Alright guys, what's up? This is Pugilistking, and today I'm going to give my fight preview of the fight which happens on March 3rd against Deontay Wilder, the WBC heavyweight champion, and Cuban heavyweight Luis Ortiz. Initially this fight was supposed to happen at the end of 2017, and as we all know by now, Luis Ortiz failed his second drug test, or should I say failed the drug test for the second time in his career, and that made the fight postponed for a while anyway. So Wilder went on to fight Stavern. Stavern was a mandatory. Wilder had already beaten Stavern to win the heavyweight title, but Wilder fights Stavern in a rematch, knocks him out in a round, and after the fight, Luis Ortiz was at the fight, so he was. Luis Ortiz was ringside for that fight, and I'm not sure if Luis Ortiz said this himself or his manager, but his manager said that try to justify the drugs situation, and he said that the fight with Deontay Wilder would still get made because Luis Ortiz is high in the WBC rankings basically. So the manager said that the fight was still going to get made, so that was alright. Luis Ortiz then goes on to fight a fringe contender or a journeyman, Daniel Moretz or something. He then goes on to fight him, knocks him out in 2 rounds, and Wilder jumps in the ring post-fight and basically calls him out. Then the fight was announced last week, or about 10 days ago, or maybe a bit more than that. I did do a video on it, which will be annotation on at the end of the video. But now the fight's made, and I'm going to give some thoughts and some views as to what this fight means. So this will definitely be Deontay Wilder's toughest challenge to date. This will be the most skilled guy that Deontay Wilder's been in with, one of the harder punchers he's been in with, and one of the more skilled operators, because Luis Ortiz is up there with the world level guys, we think anyway. But this will be Wilder's toughest challenge to date, so this has substance if he wins. And if he wins this fight, it will open doors for him. Now obviously it sets up the fight with Anthony Joshua, or it keeps that fight available, we'll say. But his stock will probably rise, I would say. I think his stock will rise a bit from that kind of win. Even though Luis Ortiz, in the grand scheme of things, ain't really a big name as such. Neither is Deontay Wilder, to be honest. He's not a big name outside of the hardcore boxing fans. Nor is Luis Ortiz. But I think a win against a skilled operator like Luis Ortiz, a strong guy, good inside fighter, if Wilder can pull off a victory against a guy like this, I think this will raise Wilder's public profile a bit. I think it will make him a more notable name in the heavyweight division. Plus, he can just say that he's proved himself against a guy like Luis Ortiz. So he wins, I think everything falls into his hands, basically, if he wins this fight. The Joshua fight's still open. He maybe gets a better percentage in the negotiating table against Joshua. Now I know that you say, like, if he had more belts or something, he would have more negotiating power. But at least it makes the fight a little bit bigger if he wins, and sets up the unification of Joshua. That's obviously being that Joshua beats Parker, which is not no easy feat. Let's look at the flip side of this. Let's say Deontay Wilder gets stopped or knocked out or gets beat by Luis Ortiz. What does that do? I think if Deontay Wilder loses to Luis Ortiz, I think it could be quite harmful, because the matter of the fact is, if he gets beat by a fighter who's not really, well, he's seen in high regard to an extent, but he's seen basically Wilder's going to be seen as not that good or rubbish, or his marketability might even go down if he gets beat by the likes of Luis Ortiz, because Luis Ortiz don't have a great stock value himself. He don't have a great public profile himself. So if Wilder gets beat by this guy, people are going to think, well, the casuals maybe, they'll think like, Deontay Wilder got beat by this guy who nobody knows. So is he really that good? That's what might be on the minds of the fans. So if he loses against Luis Ortiz, it's going to be a hard road back to the top again. I'm not saying that he can't do it, but losing against Luis Ortiz, there's really enough to gain. It's a win-lose situation, and even if he beats Luis Ortiz, it's still not going to cement him as an all-time great, for example. He will get good credit, as I said before. He will get things dropping into his hands, and it'll raise his public profile, but it won't be as substantial as beating an Anthony Joshua, for example. So basically Wilder has to win this, because if he wins it, he's more likely to get bigger fights. But if he loses, it's definitely not going to help his case. Now, if Wilder beats Luis Ortiz, I think, personally, from my point of view, I think Luis Ortiz's career is over. Let's look at the facts. Luis Ortiz is a very hard guy to market. He's a very hard guy to promote, based on the fact that he don't speak English. Nobody knows who he is in the United States and the UK and so forth, and nobody wants to fight him either. It's kind of avoided, which seems to be the case with these Cuban guys. A point I believe I should mention as well, while I'm on the topic of Luis Ortiz, is his age. Now, on BoxRec or whatever, Luis Ortiz is stated to be 37 or 38 years old. But I know for a matter of fact that he's not. I think Luis Ortiz, in all honesty, is about 47 or 48. And taking that into account, if he loses to Deontay Wilder, I don't see no way he goes back toward title contention if he loses to Deontay Wilder. Because if Deontay Wilder beats Luis Ortiz and goes on to fight Joshua or whatever, the likes of Joshua's and Parker's and that, they won't want to fight Luis Ortiz because it's a big risk and there's not a lot of money to be made, quite frankly. And it's not really, for Luis Ortiz, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. I think personally it plays more into Wilder's hands than Luis Ortiz's hands if Wilder beats Ortiz. I think if Ortiz even does beat Wilder, I don't think it's necessarily going to be play into his hands. I just think Luis Ortiz just won't get the fights that he wants. I just see it that way. So that's all I have to say in the matter. So what do you guys think of the video? Did you enjoy it? Do you agree or disagree with any of the points I made in this video? I'll be glad to hear from you in the comment section below. And take time to subscribe if you haven't already. This is Pugilist King. Thanks for watching.